Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet an entrepreneur who is shaking up the Dallas networking scene. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I've been networking for the last couple decades, and I can't tell you how many groups have come and gone. And they've gone because they're just not providing the benefits that the members expected, or they just became stale. Somebody who is shaking up the Dallas networking scene is in my studio right now, Carson Gibbons. He's the chief executive organizer of Dallas Meetup. Thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I can't wait to hear the beginning of this organization. So how did it start?
It really started, I haven't been networking for several decades, but for the last 15 years. And I was in the Dallas market in the 20-teens and networking with American Marketing Association, Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. And that's part of a large international syndicate of chapters. We were the 5th largest at the time. And it was a really great experience that I sadly had to depart after about 4 years because my co-founder and I, my first startup, were actually moving to San Francisco to attend Y Combinator's Startup Accelerator. So I had to take a step back from my not-for-profit work in Dallas to move to San Francisco for a period of time. When I returned with another networking hat on, or another startup hat on rather, I was looking for a networking association that would make me feel like I was maybe less on an island as a founder and a go-to-market specialist. So I joined the DEC Network, the Dallas Entrepreneur Center. And it was there that I became chairman of their associate board and ran our quarterly mixers as a recruitment funnel to basically get the awareness out that we were doing great work with underprivileged founders in the DFW Metroplex. So I had a lot of networking experience that seeded Dallas Meetup.
Okay, so what was lacking in the market?
It's a totally different equation since the pandemic, if you will. So you're only as good as the team that you came back from the pandemic with. And what I found with a lot of associations is that they actually diversified the revenue legs of their stool in the pandemic due to their events and programming drying up. So in the case of the DEC Network, for instance, they found a real niche with writing grant money checks to underprivileged founders. And that became more of the elevator pitch, if you will. And I was really focused on generic mainstream networking, kind of middle of the fairway, and wanted to have a Big Ten industry agnostic flair to a networking event that I was attending.
Okay, so we've got a great testimonial video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Hey, I'm Carson Gibbons, and I'm here at Dallas Meetup's August Mixer. We have 50 economic development leaders from North Texas and Southern Oklahoma in the room tonight, ready to network with the commercial real estate industry and our Big Ten industry agnostic networking mixer. We hope to see you at a future Dallas Meetup.
Jeremiah Anderson, Director of Innovation for the Fristo Economic Development Corporation. So Dallas Meetup has been great. This is the first event I've actually attended, but I got a chance to hang out and reconnect with some economic development friends and meet some new folks in the construction space as well as real estate. So really excited about it. I'll definitely be back to events in the future.
Well, it just looks alive. Like you have a nice vibe to it, don't you?
It was a vibe. That was our second Dallas Meetup. So going back to the DEC Network and how they kind of seeded my entire education for leadership in this type of environment, I rolled off of the associate board in February of this year, recruited a successor that came in, left the board better than I found it, which was really exciting. And I started to date new associations to see who I wanted to get affiliated with. And what I found was that the barrier to entry was dramatic. DEI, race, religion, color, creed, whatever niche you were looking for in terms of your types of networkers, that was certainly alive and present. Couple caveats there that I can circle back to. But even if I was in that particular group with that particular skill set, it basically made me eligible for a $75 breakfast in Irving or a $25 non-member happy hour in Las Colinas.
Right.
The barrier to entry, even for someone on an expense account, was too high. I really wanted a low barrier to entry, something almost non-committal where you could come and be surprised and receive value and then make your decision as to whether or not you wanted to attend in the future.
I want to talk now to the Gen Zs because my generation, I'm the tail end of the baby boomers, and we know all about networking. That's how you did business. But a lot of Gen Zs feel like they can sit behind a computer and network, and they may have 10,000 friends on LinkedIn, but they have no meaningful relationships. So talk about the value of getting out there and actually being face to face.
I think a lot of them are experiencing it for the very first time, and it's almost sad or eye-opening in that I had no less than 30 people at our last meetup come up to me and say, this is the largest networking event I've ever attended. And my first impression was, well, maybe you should network more, maybe you should get out more. And then I realized gone are the days of the jingle mingles that you might have attended in the past, where 10 disparate associations come together for a holiday formal. That was 2010, 2015. If you graduated and entered the labor market 2019 or after, you likely were never even onboarded in a real office environment with a physical happy hour with colleagues, much less having gone to a networking event. So this is actually brand new ground for a lot of the Gen Z.
I'm going to show another video from one of your mixers, and I want you to talk about the value of networking. Obviously, it could be career advancement. If you're an entrepreneur who is taking on clients, you might meet a client at a mixer. Talk about the value of joining Dallas Meetup.
We really subscribe to the give to get model. So focusing on what you can give and letting the get come to you thereafter is really crucial. So a couple things that are different about us: we don't charge entry, we don't have underwriting sponsors, it's a low barrier to entry, single point of sale on LinkedIn, one-click conversion. If you can make it, great, you're going to have a great time. I think that the networking give to get has really benefited our executive organizing founding team in major ways. We all just got to go out to a Ranger suite and enjoy a team building night because one of our executive organizers actually gifted that to us from the Arlington, Texas Economic Development Corporation.
Very cool.
We never set out to form that partnership with them in an effort to get tickets. We actually brought them to our event, we highlighted them, we promoted them as thought leaders, gave them data, Dr. Delphinium flowers as living leave-behinds. It was a great give for them, and then they surprised us back. That was a beautiful experience where I had family, friends, colleagues, clients, prospects in the pipeline that were all present and creating stronger relationships. The benefits and the value that will come from that, only time will tell.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you're just getting started. You got another event coming up soon?
Yes, sir. November 14th at the Rustic from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a Big Ten industry agnostic mixer with a focus on marketing and creative and digital leadership as our featured networkers. It's another thing that sets us apart is we tell you who's going to be in the room before the event. So a lot of times it's a grab bag, who's going to be in the room, a bunch of vendors. We really seed the room with a bunch of quality executives who have a high duration of stay. They came to network, they came to engage. So this time it's marketing, creative, and digital. We've got CMOs, VPs of marketing, directors of marketing from emerging enterprise and Fortune 500 companies in town, like Michael's Stores, Sally Beauty, JCPenney. We also have the arts and culture. So Dallas Museum of Art, Dallas Symphony Orchestra, D Magazine, Dallas Zoo.
Right.
Just a lot of cool passion projects, and then some charities that we're also helping get behind for North Texas Giving Day.
And these are successful people that if you tried to make a cold call to get an appointment with them, you're not going to get into their office. But to be able to network with them in a kind of a relaxed atmosphere like the Rustic, there's you can't pay enough to have that kind of interaction.
From a business development perspective, going from your work email to becoming a text and Instagram friend is really my style of business development. It's one of the reasons I started Dallas Meetup. The tangential benefit of building all these new friends and relationships has been amazing.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Please go to DallasMeetup.com, register. We have a quarterly mixer. Our last mixer, we had 897 RSVPs and 651 unique attendees. We fully anticipate November to be an 1,000-person concurrent event. So we hope to see you there.
Outstanding. Carson Gibbons. We're going to leave you with the website. Again, that's DallasMeetup.com. The great Carson Gibbons. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.